Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Georgia absolutely destroying TCU in the national championship game by the score of 65-7. The game was never even competitive for one bit, and it turned into a lopsided game. It was not even a typical blowout, as this was just a massacre that occurred last night. Oh my goodness, what a crazy game in terms of how lopsided the game was. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. What is your reaction to Georgia beating down TCU by the score of 65-7? And my reaction is I've never seen a blowout like this. You look at the blowouts that happen in college football in the big stage. You look at the blowouts that happen at the stage of the NFL. I've never seen anything like this in the modern NFL. When I did my research on biggest blowouts in championship game history in both college football and the NFL, nothing tops this, at least at the college game. In the NFL, there was a game where the Bears in 1940, they did beat down the Redskins 73-0 in the championship game in 1940, but that's like way back. That was before USA even joined in World War II. I mean, that's how bad this game turned into. It turned into a massive blowout. Okay, you look at what Stetson Bennett did. He threw for over 300 yards, threw for 4 touchdowns, also ran in for 2 touchdowns. You also look at Branson Robinson. He ran for 2 touchdowns. Who would have thought that was going to happen? And overall, this was just a straight massacre, start to finish. You look at Brock Bowers. He's a superstar tight end. He's the best tight end in the country in all of college football. He's going to be a superstar player in the NFL one day. I mean, the way how TCU played yesterday, they looked like they did not even belong on the same field as Georgia. And honestly, I think you could have just plugged in any decent SEC team and they would have just whooped TCU the way Georgia did. I mean, that's how bad TCU performed last night. And all these people that were saying TCU, they had a shot against Georgia. I mean, I thought that they even had a shot themselves. I didn't pick them to win because I thought Georgia was just flat out the better team. But for TCU to perform how they performed on the national stage was beyond embarrassing. They would have been better off if they just stayed home and just not even showed up to the game, because that's how bad this massacre turned into. I mean, credit to Georgia. They were a great football team. There's a reason why they went undefeated. There's a reason why they never lost a game. And congrats to Stetson Bennett. Now he's a 2-time national champion. Not too many quarterbacks can say that at the collegiate level. So congrats to Stetson Bennett for doing so. And Kirby Smart, what a great coach he is. I've always liked Kirby Smart. Even back when he didn't win a national championship, even when he was only winning 9, 10 games a year at Georgia, because I thought he was building a foundation there. I thought he knew what he was doing. He knew how to coach up defense. He just needed to tinker up his ideas on offense a bit, and it seems like now he has done that, or at least he's recruited so well on the offensive side that, quite frankly, it doesn't matter anymore. And when you look at the future of Georgia football, it is very, very bright. I truly believe that Georgia is now the standard of college football. Alabama is no longer the standard of college football. And this may seem overreactionary, but they haven't won a title in the last 2 years. Okay. Even last year when they lost to Georgia, it felt like the shift of power transferred from Alabama to Georgia. And this year basically confirmed it, because Alabama, they're on the downside of their dynasty run now. Yes, I understand they just won 10 games in college football. I understand that they only lost 2 games all year by a combined score of 5 points. But you also look at some of their wins that they had this year. It wasn't necessarily dominating by Bama standards. I mean, Alabama is no longer the team that everybody fears. It is now Georgia. Georgia now runs college football. Kirby Smart. I mean, obviously Nick Saban is still the GOAT, but Kirby Smart, if you want to talk about elite coaches, if you want to talk about the best coach in college football, Kirby Smart is right up there with Nick Saban. Kirby Smart is a great coach, and I understand that some people are bringing up, oh, this wouldn't even be a conversation if Ohio State's kicker had just learned how to make a 50-yard field goal. But let's be honest, that was honestly a fluke that the game was even close in the first place, because Georgia most times is not going to come out flat. Georgia, they're going to go out, they're going to take care of business, they're going to go out and dominate, because obviously, they did not play their A game. They didn't even play their B game or their C game either. I mean, Kirby Smart even more or less said so after the game, while Ohio State, they played out of their minds and they played with crazy effort and they crazily overachieved in that game. But 9 times out of 10, Georgia is easily beating Ohio State in that kind of situation. You look at college football right now, there is no team more dominant than Georgia right now. And when you look at recruiting, when you look at the funds that the state of Georgia is spending for football, I mean, they're spending a lot in it. And like Kirby Smart said, he said something about how as long as they don't have entitlement, you've got a shot in the players. And he's right about that. As long as the players don't expect ways to just be given to them, as long as they get after it in practice, as long as they keep practicing the right way, they're going to keep winning on Saturdays. It's really quite as simple as that. The reason I'm not really recapping too much about the games is because I really don't feel like there's all that much to recap other than, yeah, Georgia outran them, outthrew them. They pressured TCU's quarterback. They sacked him 5 times. I mean, there's really not much to say other than they just flat out dominated them. But I'm just talking about the Georgia future that is out there for them. I think about the future that Georgia has. It's very, very bright. They could honestly go undefeated again next season. You look at the schedule that they have. There is honestly maybe one game that they might lose in the regular season. Maybe one. Maybe they lose to Tennessee late next year. But other than that, they're going to win every other game. I can tell you guys that right now. And you look at the defense that Georgia has next year, a lot of stars are returning, and they're going to get an even better quarterback. They got Carson Beck. Carson Beck's going to be a quarterback that's going to be better than Stetson Bennett. No disrespect to Stetson Bennett. I am really appreciative of what he overcame, how he was a walk-on, and how he overachieved at the collegiate level. But let's be honest, when Carson Beck gets his opportunity, Georgia is going to be a massively better football team. So when you look at it from that perspective, you have to think how Georgia, they're basically the cheat code. I mean, they're at that point now where they don't have to do much recruiting in terms of just selling why a player should go ahead and go to Georgia. I mean, at this point, people know what Georgia's all about, at least on the football level, and they're going to keep winning. And I think they're going to have an incredibly bright future, and I think they're the new standard of college football. I mean, it's not like they just beat them down by 20 or 30 points. They beat them by 58 points in the national championship game. This isn't 58 points against the Seattle. This isn't 58 points against Gardner-Webb. This isn't winning by 58 points against UAB. This is winning by 58 points in the national championship game. When you can do that, that's how you know you're much better than everybody else at the collegiate level. It's as simple as that. And I understand that TCU, they're a great underdog story. Congrats to them for making it to the national championship game. They definitely overachieved. But Georgia's just a whole different animal. And when you look at it from that perspective, Georgia football, they're just simply superior to every other team in college football. It's as simple as that. And I really think their future is bright. And I don't see any reason why Georgia couldn't three-peat again next year. You just look at the roster that Georgia has. They just got so much talent on both sides of the ball. They're honestly better than everyone else. I mean, I know that there's never been a three-peat that's been done in college football, but if anyone can do it, it's going to be this version of Georgia, because this Georgia team's just been dominant the last 2 years, and I don't expect that to change come next season. I mean, you look at the back-to-back college football national champions, it's only happened 8 times, and it's only happened 3 times in the 21st century, and one of them doesn't even count because the wins were vacated because USC, they got involved in a scandal or whatever. So really, it's only happened twice in terms of the record books. Alabama in 2011, 2012, and Georgia in the last 2 years. What's the common denominator? Kirby Smart. I expect Kirby Smart to continue being a great coach. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't be. Kirby Smart just has what it takes to keep the program together, keep them focused on being great. So that was why Georgia was able to just flat out dominate TCU as they won by the score of 65-7. Just remember that they have a very bright future on their hands. I believe that they're going to end up three-peating. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @SportsGuyTalking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.